This is our content, sponsored by Geographics Media.
I'm a liar, barely feel remorse. I'm a cheater, letting my nature take its course.
Let's go.
All right, everybody. This is Step, the Cardigan Kid, down with my partner, Big J, the artist. This is our content. Peace, Jay. What's good, brother?
Man, it's another lovely day, man, above ground. Got to give God thanks for it, brother.
Correct, man. Look, I feel the same way, man. It's always better to be seen and not viewed. That's what my uncle always say, man. So, hey, man, how's your week been?
It's been rough, man. You know, I had the art show last weekend. I'm still recovering from that. Art shows can be very taxing on your mind and your body.
Nothing new for you,
Believe it.
but you a grinder, bro. You a grinder. This is so.
The only
Congrats
thing is,
for
when
all
you
that
grind
you just
it,
want
you gotta
to.
make sure that
Just
not
give a
being
round of
grinded in the
applause, bro, for
process.
for all due, my friend. So, hey, that's where it's at, man. So, we got to give you that one, bro. We got to give you that one. Got to give you that one, bro. So, I mean, hey, bro, I am so proud of you.
Thank you, man.
that's so true, man. But right now, bro, it's like this. All of us are proud of you because you've worked so hard to get to this point in your life, man. You've been really grinding. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out here. You have been drawing and messing with people with your drawing for a long time.
You're doing it too.
I know it, man. If I could only find some of the stuff that you used to use to clown us.
Oh man.
Rare, bruh. Just a round of applause, bruh. Just a round of applause for you, my friend, because you have been on it. Just own it. Just own it, bruh. Been on it. So we spoke the other day, and you had some stuff that was heavy on your mind, heavy on your heart, man. So we decided to take this episode to just let you air it, man. Just to let you not vent about it, but just make us more aware of what's going on inside of the mind of Big J, the artist.
I mean, honestly, man, it's just like we were talking the other day. I just had some thoughts on what's going on in today's society with cancel culture and people's attempt at canceling certain people who have different views from them.
What exactly?
Go ahead.
What exactly? What exactly?
Well,
I mean, for the listener who might not know, what is the cancel culture?
Okay, well, I had the unofficial, official definition of cancel culture from Wikipedia on my phone. If you don't mind, I can pull it up.
I do not mind at all because I want to know exactly what Wiki says about it. I don't use Wiki a lot, man, but for the sake of for what popular culture thinks about it or whatever someone puts in, I'm interested to know about that. The researcher in me didn't do Wikipedia a lot, but I mean, for the sake of our content, I think it's relevant, and I just want to hear what it is, so I can either laugh or cry.
Okay, well, according to Wikipedia, cancel culture is a phrase contemporary to the late 2010s and early 2020s, used to refer to a culture in which those who are deemed to have acted or spoken in an unacceptable manner are ostracized, boycotted, or shunned. And that's according to Wikipedia.
That sounds about right from what I gather
Yeah.
It is. But based on that definition, apparently it didn't get a name, quote unquote, until 2010. But that's something that's been going on a
Yeah.
long time.
Well, I mean, just the fact that they used the word boycott. I
Yeah,
mean, that's been going on for a long time. That was a word that was big when we were younger,
correct.
talking about boycotting and stuff like that. So I mean, that going all the way back to the civil rights movement, which is before our time,
Way
you know,
before.
boycotting. So it's been a thing. I just don't necessarily think it was something people were using as a weapon against people who just maybe said something or think differently, not necessarily saying something. But I guess you kind of let people know how you feel about what you say or what you do. But today's cancel culture, to me, seems to be bred out of being very sensitive, overly sensitive, if you will.
Hmm. Interesting. 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 I like that whole take on it. I personally remember, back when we were coming up, uh, it was more so about awareness than it was
Mm,
trying to counsel per se. In order for somebody to
right,
come after your life, they had to do something extremely just extremely ill for
right,
people to just rise up and come against them and try to destroy everything that people worked hard for. But again, you also had those people that, like you pointed out a while back, that intentionally did certain things against certain groups of people just for the notoriety, if you will, the popularity,
right,
just the opportunity to get on, the opportunity to stay relevant, or whatever the situation called for at that point in time. So I think now, based on the definition, or based on what your feelings are about the council, the quote unquote council culture, based on all of that, yes, I think is now more so on steroids now. When you do
yeah,
add that element of sensitivity, when you do add that element of uh, people feeling ostracized, so now they're gonna stand and try to ostracize or whatever. You
right,
is again, it goes back to what I talked about in episode one, to division. To me, it's a constant division,
mm,
and it goes also back to uh, this whole notion of bullying.
hmm,
People use that term loosely now. I was bullied, or I, this happened to me, so I feel like they were bullying me or gaslighting me
right,
or whatever the case. All of these buzzwords to me
hmm,
have ignited certain people who really, when I've talked to a few of them, they can't even explain why. And it puts everybody on eggshells. It puts everybody on, not everybody, but a lot of people are on the defensive, while you got other people that constantly stay on the offensive looking for something. But again,
hmm,
I think that peaceful resolutions need to come about through understanding, instead of people being bullied to accept certain things from certain people, if that makes
right,
any sense. And we, speaking here from myself and Big J, we're not doing this broadcast to attack anybody. We just, we're asking for understanding, and hopefully a resolution that would make people be more open to hear people than destroy people and attack. Anything positive is constructive.
right,
Everything else destroys. And we're personally tired of living in situations that are decaying rapidly
right,
to pretty much appease a few. If you know, And again, we're not attacking anybody, but if you're gonna come after us as a council culture, then it's better to do the episode 2 than episode 200.
Yeah, they're right.
Oh my God!
Right.
So, but Jay, what really?
you know me. You already know how I am. And,
I do.
I'm a chill guy, but you know, there's a limit to that. There's only so much I'm gonna allow you to come at me like that. But to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna kind of skip ahead, but we're gonna come back. But I always look at this cancel culture as, if it was happening to me, I would advise anyone to understand that even though people will try to attack you on a personal basis, meaning that they'll try to dig deep into your life and your background and mistakes or things you have made in the past, that honestly, it's still not, you can't take it personal because they don't know you. They only, most people who are trying to cancel you, if they find some information about you, they're digging for certain specific things. So not only will they make light of those things that they deem negative or things they can use as a fuel to fuel their fire of cancellation, so to speak, but they'll also look past things that are very positive, that speak to your character and who you are as a person, your standing in society, what you've contributed to the world, you know, in a positive sense. So, I mean, a lot of times it's just people trying to take certain things about you and amplify those things in order to push a certain narrative about who you are in an attempt to get the people who help fund your lifestyle, meaning where you work, or if you're a person that gets commercial backing or stuff like that from sponsors or whatnot, which is that's where a lot of it has come from, is celebrities and athletes and stuff like that who have said or done things that certain members of the public don't approve of, or just kind of rubs them the wrong way because it may irritate a part in their spirit that either they are self-conscious of and they haven't dealt with on their own, or just this general sentiment that things are supposed to be a certain way. So, you know, they'll attack people's pockets, and but they'll take things out of your past or things you may have done or whatever, and just try to make that be the make that represent the totality of who you are as a person. And we all know that everybody in this world is very multifaceted. So we can't say, okay, this is who this person is. Now, if you've committed a crime or something like that, then of course, then hey, if you haven't served your time or whatever, or paid the price for that, then you got to deal with that. That's on you and whatever system that you fall under that handles that. But just as far as these pictures of morality or immorality that people are trying to paint about you, most of the time it's very pointed, and they're just taking certain things and just trying to amplify it.
Whatever happened to people being able to grow from certain things? Like, you know, I grew up like a super fat kid. Like, I got teased. I actually got bullied too until I fought back. But it was a good fight too. I didn't know I had it in me, bro. I did not know I had it in me. But
he's burning all them calories.
that's exactly what it was. Hey, I felt like I was buffed after I got through, B. Yo, I felt like
skinny.
I felt like it. But now, man, I fought. I didn't lose my breath, anything, bro. Right. I fought and knuckled back and was ducking and bobbing and weaving. I'm like, wow. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, I didn't know I could fight. You know what I mean? But that was, it is what it is. But what happened to those days, man, where people are afraid to get beat up or afraid to even have a contact of fighting, or
Right.
what happened to where you can't say certain things without it becoming so blown out of proportion? Like nobody wants to get their feelings hurt, and it seems to me like the things that we grew up on that are just life, things that are going to happen. It seems like now people don't want to face those things. It's just like I want a constant bowl of cherries.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't like cherries, then we don't like you.
Right.
And that's okay. But we're mad.
Like the society of cherry lovers come down on the people who just say they don't prefer cherries. They didn't say anything just negative about cherries. They just say it's not my preference. You do you and I do me, but I don't want no cherries.
Correct. So now you're a cherry hater. Like, and so if there's a whole crusade to destroy your life because you got a refrigerator full of strawberries. And all you doing is trying to stay nourished and live your life. What happened to a time where people are just like, okay, Step likes cherries, Jason likes strawberries, but they're brothers. They're super cool. And they have grown together. They have worked together. They're business partners. They whatever we are, we love each other because of the similarities and the differences, because both of those things encompass who we are as individuals and as a unit, as a team. Our whole crew is like that. So I don't understand now why people are so afraid to just freaking be, that it puts people in a situation where they are now quote unquote socially awkward, or quote unquote depressed or suicidal, or so many things come out of people being afraid to just live their lives. And not all people, but a lot of people. And I see it all the time. And once upon a time, I thought, man, these kids going through stuff. But man, I see people who are straight up grown-ups who do the same thing, man. I can't figure it out. And to a certain degree, because I some people can say I'm naive or whatever they may think about it, but I am just a person who wants to just be and live and love and not have to be put into anybody's freaking category.
Right.
It seems like people now have to be within a category, and anything outside of that category is the enemy. So on the one hand, you want inclusion, but on the other hand, you want division. So there's a constant bubble of anger, fear, love, hate,
It's fear, man.
It's fear. I agree.
Yeah, it's fear mongering.
Uh,
If you got to be in fear of having any individuality about yourself, especially if you're not trying to inflict any physical harm to anyone or trying to take anything from anyone, then that's just fear based, bro. And that's what I see. I think that we have a society, particularly here in America, we have this society where people have this overall thought that they're supposed to be happy 24 hours a day, and that is the most important emotion that you can possibly feel is just happiness, and, and anything that takes away from my happiness or my ability or potential for happiness has to be eradicated. It has to be controlled. It has to be either put in a cage and thrown away, or it has to be just thrown away, period. It has to just be eradicated. And happiness is not as important as people think. They're putting too much on happiness. You can't really grow if you're walking around
Oh,
happy all the time.
that's a
You know,
valid point.
yeah, we joke all the time about making up little songs and stuff like smoking dope in the
In the
alley
alley,
and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. We clowning, but honestly, when you think about it, like people who do that kind of stuff, they're searching for happiness. They're trying to recreate this euphoric state that they felt the very first time that they tried whatever substance they was on, whether it's alcohol, whether it's hard drugs or whatever, or it could be something like sex or just or validation from other people.
Attention.
Yeah, attention. Yeah, and it's like
Attention.
you gotta make me happy all the time, or I have to be happy, or I'm going to show out, or I'm going to have a tantrum like a child. And that comes from, this is just my opinion, but I'm very observant. It comes from lack of a certain amount of real attention from parents growing up. And I'm not talking about them just picking you up and throwing you in the air and hugging you and all that type of stuff. I'm talking about them being real with you, because
Correct.
if every time they see you, they're buying you something, giving you something to eat, telling you you're the greatest thing in the world, always taking you somewhere that there's entertainment and all that kind of stuff. All those things are things that'll make you feel happy. And they're good. We need those things. We need to build children up and be built up ourselves at times, even as adults. We need that. But that is nowhere near the totality of what we need to be mature, productive, well-rounded, level-headed adults in this world. We gotta hear the real truth about some of the things that we do that aren't necessarily good things, and it's not always gonna make you happy to hear it. Most of the time, it's not, especially if you've been fed this sugary, diet of you're the greatest, or you're the best, or you're a princess, or you're a prince, you're a king, you're cute, you're beautiful, you're all these things, when reality in the real world is not necessarily going to treat you in that way, and it's definitely not going to always see you in that way. And so we got to just get back to just being real, and not necessarily saying that we have to try to be harsh in our approach every time, because it doesn't
Right.
always call for that. But it does call for honesty and trying to prepare people instead of just nurture them and make them feel better and stroke their ego. We have to prepare people, because the real world can be really harsh. It can be really cold. So you build up the confidence to go out into the world, but also not a false sense of confidence, not a false sense of bravado. Know your weaknesses. Know the areas that you need to get better at, because the world will exploit all of those things. So just know who you truly are, good or bad, strong or weak, and then learn how to adjust and find your place in this world to do the best you can do. But you got to be real. If you're not real, you're going to have really bad results a lot of times, and you're going to be walking around frustrated because you're not going to really know, but what's really going on? Why am I not having success in this area? Why do I feel like I keep running into a wall when I get to a certain place where I want to go? I keep hitting the ceiling every time. I can't move forward. I can't move up, because if you always seeking to be happy and not seeking to, like we were just talking about earlier, grinding and going in there and having some dog in you, and understanding like, hey, I'm not good in this aspect, but I can work on that, and I'm gonna enjoy it. As hard as it is, I'm gonna enjoy it, because I have this vision. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. I know who I want to be. And right now, I'm not who I want to be. So I got to do something to get there. And it ain't gonna be easy, and I'm not gonna always be happy. I'm not gonna be doing cartwheels and eating candy and lollipops and donuts and cake and all that kind of stuff. I gotta get down in the dirt, in the mud, and I gotta get it. And cancel culture, a lot of times, from what I've seen, is just a reaction when people let people know that you've been lollygagging and sitting around and playing around, but you have an opportunity to grow, but it just rubs people the wrong way. That's one form of cancel culture. There's others, but that's one that I've seen.
For every group of people I've figured out, you got good and bad in all people, but within certain groups, you got good and bad. Right. You got people that represent different groups that are just cool, laid back. They just want to be. This is who I am. This is what I do. Peace Step was good. Peace Jay was good. Again, we can be friends, and no one cares about what anyone believes. The important thing is that we love and respect each other on every level. You got people within every group, whether you are black, white, Hispanic, gay, straight, whatever the situation may be, cherry lover, strawberry lover, whatever the case may be, big or small, you got people in each group, in every group, that are not a good representative of that group because they go to the extreme with something. And it alienates innocent people in some cases, good people, but in other cases it made that entire group look really bad. Because I think that when people are comfortable in who they are, when they're comfortable in what they believe, I mean, every group, Christian, non-Christian, Muslim, every group has people that take stuff to the extreme, and they can take stuff and representing certain groups and misdirect their anger, misdirect their rage, their fear, or whatever. For example, I got two different things that I experienced before, and they totally took me off guard. Three things actually. I opened the door for this woman one time, being a gentleman. We talk. That's who we are. How you doing, ma'am? Open the door. And she was like, I don't need you to open the door for me. What? Like, I'm just being nice. Being a gentleman since I'm going through first. I grew up in the house with all women. That's how I was brought up. So that's what I do. I got cussed out, bruh. I got cussed out. I got my feelings hurt for that. I didn't start a crusade. But as an individual, I started looking out for that. I didn't stop opening the door. Some people will walk through it. Some people appreciate it. Some women will say, thank you, sir. Right. I open the door for dudes. If I'm going in for, here you go, sir. That's what I do.
Right.
Now, fast forward a few months later, I see this guy in the wheelchair. He hit the button on the outside of the door. He tapped the button and the door didn't open. The door was messed up. It didn't work. I'm skipping along, coming through. I opened the door for the brother. I got cussed out. I don't need you opening the bleedly blank door for me. I can do what I need to do. Sir, the door was jammed. I just was opening the door because what you was doing wasn't working, bro. I got cussed out worse. I politely took my foot and shut the door in his face and left.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
No, I got cussed out by the person that saw me do it. That was just messed up. That person just cussed me out. Yeah. I felt bad.
I got a hot foot for them too.
Then I ice grilled him, like, whatever, man. Like, I'm trying to be nice. But that's okay,
Was an old man or a young man?
He was that guy was probably in his mid-30s. He was probably in his mid-30s. But again, he knuckled up and like he was gonna fight. Because if I was in his situation, yeah, shut the door. You gonna cuss me out and call me all kind of bad names? I walked out and shut the door. Bloop. What?
Man, you know that's funny.
Hey man, listen. I had just got cussed out by the woman. I'm like, I ain't gonna wear two cousins out, man, for being nice. Those are the only two situations I've had like that too. Those are the only two situations where somebody was mad that I was nice to her. Now, fast forward later, I was at this location, and somebody saw me and I didn't see them. So there was a person sitting down near the person that saw me. That person stood up and she was like, step, waving and everything.
Yeah.
I walk up and I'm like, yes, ma'am. The other person that was sitting down jumped up.
Yeah.
And jumped up, threw the arms down and like, I don't appreciate you addressing me as ma'am. I don't go by that and blah, blah. And I was flabbergasted. And I looked. Now, I will say that when that person jumped up, I didn't know what was going on. I was cocked and loaded if I had to be. Again, I walk in peace. I didn't know if that person was trying to jump on me or whatever. So I kind of was cocked to the side, but she cussed me out. And I looked at that person and told that person, yo, I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to this woman that you heard call me. You heard her call me.
Right.
Why do you feel the need to get up? And number two, I don't know you. I don't know what you prefer. I don't know all of I don't know you from a can of paint. You don't know me. And but again, I apologized and I bonked out because again, that you are attacking me. So for anybody else who does not prefer a certain thing, that act like they have some sense, they know, hey, this guy doesn't know me. He's not talking to me. So why am I going to assert myself into these people's lives? Pretty much attempting an altercation just because it's freaking Wednesday. No other and so I think that you got bad people or within every group that would do extreme stuff to bring attention to themselves, and they're not doing anything for the general good of the group that they represent or humanity as a whole, as far as I'm concerned. And again, if you're listening to this, I apologize if you feel a certain way, but at the same token, the people that screaming how offended they are have to realize that some of you are offending other people for just living their lives. They don't know what you are, who you are, what you prefer, or what you want to do with your life.
Right.
I'm going to show you love and respect regardless. You don't even have to love and respect me. I don't care. But my life doesn't revolve based on how you feel about me. It has everything to do about how I feel about myself. Right. And I'm gonna show love and respect to people. If somebody don't want it, I know not to deal with them. I have to be discerning in that too. But had I reacted to a situation in a negative way, then that opens up the door for so much criticism on so many different levels, because I get accused of being something that I'm not. Nobody will ever look at it and be like, okay, this guy was pretty much defending himself or whatever. And it's, I think, go ahead.
That brings me to my second type of cancellation or cancel attempt within this cancel culture, and that is misinformed cancellation, where people just don't really know they don't really have enough knowledge or information about a certain situation, a certain person, or a certain just a certain instance in time when something happened, an event or whatever, and then they just you know want to start blabbering all their insecurities or all their 2 cents that ain't even worth 1 cent, about a situation, and then get people all up in arms about something that they may have happened, or something that they perceive to have happened. They may have thought that was an altercation between you and someone, and you being the aggressor in their mind, and they could be vastly, grossly misinformed about what happened. That's like coming in late and seeing something, and then trying to figure it out by throwing all your own personal junk into it, and then just totally misrepresenting the whole situation. But they don't even know. They have no idea. They don't know what was said. They don't know your history with this person, or if there is one. They don't know what that person did literally right before they saw it, or walked into whatever, witnessed it, and then they just popping off at the mouth because they're like, okay, well, I knew a guy that looked like him, and I didn't like him. So I see this guy getting into some type of disagreement or loud altercation with this person, and he's at fault. He did it. He did something. They don't even know what it is. They're just saying something, and they're looking for an excuse to come down on someone. And like I say, it comes back to that person, their own insecurities, who they know, who they've met or who they've experienced in their lives, and just ultimately what they don't know. And one of the dangerous characteristics that I've noticed of modern society is people don't research anything. They don't read. They don't listen all the way. They jump into these headlines that are misleading
Mm-hmm.
and romanticized, and they'll go with that. They won't even read past the third or fourth sentence in a 2-page doggone article or essay or whatever, or report. And they'll just say, okay, well, I got this little bit of information, and this is what it is. I see it every day on social media when somebody makes a post about something that requires you to either A, have already done the research about it before you even go any further with it, and start flapping your lips about it, or you could just stand back and just kind of listen, or keep reading, and then gain more knowledge about what's going on. But they don't do that. And people just get all up in arms about something and don't even know what they're talking about. And that's the part that really gets me with cancel culture more than anything else, is that, because I don't like people talking when they don't know what they're talking about. That is a big, big pet peeve of mine. That is a no for me. I don't like that at all. Like that type of behavior has made me fall out with people. A person who just start blurting things, and they don't listen. And that I develop a severe dislike for people who do that, and I try to stay away from people like that, because people like that are very dangerous. Because have you ever noticed that people who are walking around misinformed and who talk about it a lot, they tend to be very loud,
Of course.
and they tend to always seek attention and want to be heard, but they want to be heard more than they want to be correct, and I don't like that. And that happened, an example from cancel culture in general was Colin Kaepernick. What happened with him a few years ago when he started kneeling during games in an attempt to raise awareness about police brutality and some other social issues, but all pretty much about the same. They kind of were all rooted in like racial inequality, and he got all this backlash from all these people who were saying, that when they were doing when the NFL was having the national anthem or whatever being performed at the games, that some people stand up, some people put their hand over their heart, some people remove their caps and all that kind of stuff, and you know and and showing respect to the men and women of our armed forces. But Colin Kaepernick did that, and it was in no way, shape, form, or fashion an attempt on his part to disrespect the U.S. Armed Forces. It was not to disrespect or demean or diminish their contribution to society, who they are as Americans, and their right to be patriotic. It was not that at all. And you had all these folks, but he's un-American. He's not patriotic. He should be kicked out of the United States. All that just stupid stuff.
All right, man. Woo! You got deep on that one, my guy. But right now, bruh, we got to take a pause for the calls. Somebody, everybody, anybody who can be a sponsor going to step in right now. Peace. This is Step, a.k.a. Sincere Wisdom. The one with the brace face flow. On behalf of Geographics Media, Big J, and myself, we'd like to extend our sincerest gratitude to everyone listening to our content. We're new to this platform, so we hope that y'all continue to rock with us, not only now for the remainder of this episode, but in future episodes as well. We appreciate you taking time from your life to show us some support. We hope that our presentations are precise, bass heavy, and just right. Haha. So now back to the program. All right. So just based on the situation where the person wanted to buck and get, and attack me, the young lady that called me over kind of had my back and looked and told that person he's not talking to you. Like, it's okay. We're good. When I kind of walked off, she came with me, but I thought about all of the possible scenarios that could have played out against me for pretty much minding my own business. That type of stuff puts people on eggshells, and I just don't like the way eggshells feel under my feet. We have to have a way to lovingly, genuinely combat that type of behavior. Not, to the point where it just, and I think we're not only two having this talk, we're actually talking about it now because, man, this week I've had several conversations where people are just tired of being attacked. And what it boils down to, again, like I said earlier, every group has its bad people. If you are a Christian, or even not a Christian, listen, I knew a dude that was a complete atheist, and a friend of mine, complete atheist, but he treated people with so much love, with so much kindness, with so much respect.
Right.
A lot of the nonprofit organizations that were faith-based all wanted him to be a part of it because they did not know his beliefs. They didn't know his stance. And he would go in and outwork everybody.
It was his character.
His character.
Strong character.
He was just he is just a nice guy. He treats people the way that he wants to be treated.
Right? Which is a biblical principle.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. So when it comes down to certain things, I think what the problem is, people who are comfortable in that envelope that they're in, they're the least of anybody's worries, bro. They just live life. But again, when you got people trying to fit into certain things, or they're not sure where they want to be, or they just looking for something to be a part of, those are the people, again, who bring a whole bunch of negativity to other people for just minding their business to a certain extent. And again, we are not talking about any particular group. We're talking about all of them, because all these groups have somebody in them who do what they do, and most of the time they picking on good people. They don't go after the bad people. They don't go after the bad people. Man, listen, I was riding down the road one day.
They don't have the strength of character to go after the bad people.
Correct. I was driving down the road one day and saw, again, for people that don't know, I'm from rural Georgia. Everything happens. I saw this guy, these people in the car who they had, a rebel flag. They had all kind of stuff, just wilding out. I'm riding down the road, so I passed these brothers in the car. They were smoking weed. They were thugged out, chilling. Right. I was like, "What's up?" And they, "What's up?" We all smiled. We kept it moving. This car, mashing out, riding in and out of traffic, just messing with people. They pulled up beside the car with the guys burning and looking what they might consider crazy. They passed by. I'm riding down the road just minding my business, and I'm riding at 10 and 2. I'm not even riding at 12, bro. 10 and 2. I'm sitting straight up and everything, nerdy and everything, riding.
Right.
The guy on the passenger side rolled his window down, B. He rolled his window down and straight up spit on the car, man. Word up.
Wow.
And mashed out. Why not do it to these guys? Because you knew, had you did it to these guys, it would have been a different situation. He looked at what he felt like was the least likely to retaliate. The
person who has something to lose, they want to try that person. The people do that all the time.
The people that they think have something to lose. The people that they think have something to lose. Because those people, the guys that were riding out burning could have been doctors as far as any of us knew that, with thriving practices. They minding their business. But stereotypically, they looked at them like, we're not gonna touch that. This guy in the suit, yeah, we're gonna get to him. Spit and rolled out, bro. Rolled out.
Well, one thing, two-step. You honestly are more of a threat to anyone who has a little bit of sense, because you're going to take whatever you have and do something positive in the community. Now, the suit was just your outward appearance.
Right.
Most people, when they wear a suit, they look more powerful. They look like they
right.
have more of a network of influence to where they can, make things happen. So honestly, the person who is in the suit is, more of a threat. And so a lot of people feel like, my perception of the guys that's sitting around smoking thugged out is they've already lost. You see what I'm saying? Like they're not going to contribute anything to raise these people of color up above where they already are. Not saying that they're not going to do that. I'm just saying perception. Is that this guy right here with the nice suit on? He's clean. And I know you're clean cut just because I know you. Period. Because some people can wear a suit and you could put a turd in a tux and it's still gonna look like a turd.
Word.
It's just gonna be a dressed up turd, but you're gonna be well kept and well groomed and all that stuff. In addition to wearing a nice suit, so you have the look down. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna project a certain air of intelligence, responsibility, forward thinking, power. You're gonna project that when even when you're not dressed like that. That's just those type of things are gonna come out of your mouth. Those are they're gonna be prevalent in your actions and stuff. So they're looking at you as like, well, okay, well, and they may or may not have, but this is just what I'm getting from it. Where some people look at it is that you are the real threat, because you the way you're moving inspires upward mobility. It inspires it embodies, I should say, the overall look and feel of a person who's actually trying to make our race and our conditions better. Where we are. So they look at you as like, okay, well, the audacity of this guy to not partake of the things that we put out there to to damper us as a people, to damper you all as a people, and you trying to be more than that, and you think you're better than us. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that one of our former presidents said in the interview that he did with I think it was Oprah or somebody. He said that if you can convince like poor whites and stuff like that that they are better than a certain section of the black community, then or make them feel like there's a threat to who they are as white people, then that's going to give them fuel to want to follow you. Because once you made them feel like a victim and feel like they have to fight for these freedoms, and then all these other groups of people are here to take what they have, whether it's the Mexicans or whether it's the blacks or whatever, and you're here to impede on our freedoms, it's going to trigger them in a certain way to make them cling on to whatever they deem is powerful enough to help them in their fight against all these people who are trying to move up and pass them. But the thing they don't understand is that the same person who's pushing that narrative is the same one that's trying to really ultimately just use them for votes or for financial backing or whatever. Because they don't look at them as any better than the black people or Latinos or Asians or whoever. They don't look at them as any better. In some ways, they look at them as worse because they're like, here you are, a whole white man who could actually come up in this country if you just clean up a little bit, or at least clean up your look. Get your
Right.
teeth fixed, get your hair cut, put on some type of semblance of some dress clothes, and you could at the very least be a manager, somewhere and move up from this little raggedy trailer to a brand new double wide trailer and get you a brand new Ford F-150, and be good. But you losing because you drank it too much, or you never learn how to read, or you don't know, you have poor grooming grooming habits and stuff like that, bad hygiene. So they actually, in some ways, look down at those people as worse because they understand by being, financially, on a higher level than the average person, and how white that spirit is, and they're like, okay, well, you could be not necessarily maybe right here, but you could be up higher than you are, but you're squandering your whiteness. So they kind of look down on them. They look at them as like it's all around stupid.
Don't waste this
And
stuff.
that's real, bro.
Word up. I do agree. I because in both scenarios where the guy the person jumped up like, I don't consider myself this, and like my car got spat on.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm glad that I handled things the way that I handled them, because had I acted out in any other way,
Mm-hmm.
that is when both of those situations would immediately they would have immediately evacuated to the envelope of being
Mm-hmm.
victimized by the big black guy.
Right.
That's my fear. And we at our content feel we are concerned. We find it concerning that that people who are genuinely kind and loving and just doing what we have to do to respect everybody. In a lot of cases, we are always the first to get attacked and victimize ourselves, and no one stands up to say, "Hey, they're just minding their own business, man." We don't have that. So my whole thing is, I decided that when people come at me that way, pretty much I lovingly just walk off. Again, I don't know you, so I don't know about your choices. I don't know about your preferences. I don't know that. Understand and realize that we have never met.
Right.
But common sense is not coming, bro. Word up. And so I should be mad at you because this situation turned really serious and I hadn't had a chance to clown like I usually would. But but it's again, we find it concerning. And early on I was afraid to kind of jump into it, but then I'm just like, oh well, put it out there because so many people feel that way. We just don't have a voice that stands up and say it because again,
right,
it threatens our livelihood. Somebody with it's a hate crime. It's whatever umbrella is put up under to silence certain people. That's what they're labeled as. I didn't grow up being appeased. I grew up being raised to roll with the punches and do what I had to do and have drive and outwork everybody. When I played kickball, I had to kick the ball. And if somebody threw the ball and hit me, I was out. If somebody caught the ball, I was out. I go back the next time I'm up, I kick it. We now live in a situation where rolling the ball wasn't good enough. Rolling the ball real slow wasn't good enough. You now have to sit the ball down in front of the person to let them kick it. And you have to let them score in order for them to feel accomplished. But at the same time, again, that's not life. When they run into a situation with somebody like, nah, you better kick the ball when I roll it, it becomes an issue. And it's concerning to not only me, but to us and even other people that are really cool with us, that it's a constant divide in that. And my sincere wisdom that I want to offer people is this: leave people alone.